Hi there. I would like to begin this episode by thanking some people like Patrick Fallon, Kelly, Dylan Gallagher, Mark Sandifer, and Garrett McMahon. All of these are people who have gone to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and kicked us some money. It funds the network, and it got them some cool bonus content as well. You can be like them by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. Thank you.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week, the first episode of the new year, we are talking about Super Mario Bros. 3, which is a platforming game developed and published by Nintendo for the NES in 1989. I was so tired from Duckstream, Gary, that I said it was developed and published by Mario.
I didn't notice that in the notes.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very meta.
Yeah. Mario willed himself into existence.
Oh, no, I'm on a Grant Morrison comic.
I should not be.
Oh, man. Grant Morrison's Mario.
Oof.
Yeah, this is a classic. What even is the point of talking about it? We'll fucking tell you.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. It is every once in a while it's fun on the show to go to something that is just considered an unassailable part of video games wallpaper.
Yeah.
And chat it up.
Yeah.
You know? And it's also such a joy.
Oh,
and
of course.
we needed a joy. We wanted to start the new year with something breezy and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also just finished Duckstream and just finished Fallout 4.
Yep. We needed something. We needed something that was a snack to record, so we can take some time off for the holidays. So why don't we talk about this beloved video game and make people angry by kind of saying that this really hammered the nail in the coffin for me of why Mario World is the better of the two for me, while still enjoying this one quite a bit.
This is great.
Yeah,
I like this less than I like Mario 2.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But more than I like Mario 1. I think it goes Mario World, Mario 2,
yes.
Mario 3, Mario 1 for the classics for me.
Agreed.
I might, in Lost Levels, I think I like more than Mario 1.
Yeah, true.
For sicko reasons. This game you play as Mario or his lesser green counterpart. Mm-hmm. As you set out to undo the damage caused by Bowser's kids, the Koopalings. They are kids to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was localized.
Yeah.
They weren't meant to be, but I'm always going to consider them the fruit of his cloaca. They stole magic wands belonging to weird kings of Mario's world.
Yeah.
Introduced a lot of mythology that doesn't go anywhere in the world of Mario.
And also that could just be a fiction for the play. This has a this has a wrapper around it, just like Mario 2 does. You know, Mario 2 is a dream, and this is a work of fiction.
Yes.
Possibly, maybe.
Imagine going to a play where the plot was mostly about jumping. No dialogue, please. All the dialogue, every once in a while, a weird merchant lets you play the same match 3 game. Mm-hmm. Or sliding. Most of the play is just about jumping, running and jumping.
You run, you jump, you hop and bop on things. Some things can't hop on, so you jump over them and get around them, lest you be bopped yourself.
Yes, you do not want to be bebopped. There's more to it than that we'll get into in the episode, but generally that's what you do.
We don't need to describe the nuts and bolts of a Mario game, do we? I mean,
no, I mean probably not.
It's more interesting, I think, to talk about the differences. This exists in a context. This is more of a follow up to Mario 1 and what was called over here the Lost Levels. Mario 2, though it was made by Mario people, wasn't originally a Mario game. We did a whole episode about that very good and underrated game fairly recently that you can go listen to. But looking at this as a very like individual stage focused game that is less about exploration and more about navigating obstacles, I think is that's kind of the lens you want to look at this through.
Yeah. The biggest thing when going back to Mario 3, and it surprises me every time I go back to it, is that some of these levels are 20 seconds long.
It's ridiculous.
There's some you just like literally run from one end to the other, and it's over. It's a sprint.
Yeah.
Usually there is a specific idea in the level or a new enemy or a hazard. Sometimes there's just kind of a remix.
Yes.
Existing enemies and hazards, kind of presaging a little bit of what happens with the best 3D Marios.
Yes.
But not as elegantly done as, would be expected.
Yeah.
25 years beforehand.
Right. So it's surprising, but it's not necessarily a terrible thing that these courses end up being as brief as they are. Nothing really overstays its welcome, and that also doesn't mean that there are not longer stages where time management is a concern. I was also surprised because the majority of what I have in my memory about this game is early going stuff, right? Kind of after Big Land or Giant World or whatever it is. My catalog in this kind of falls off. There's some stuff here that definitely like presages like the weird exit finding stuff from the Mario world ghost houses, right?
Yeah, every once in a while there's a puzzle or a maze
to
the levels. A lot of times this stuff is just kind of trial and error based.
Yeah,
like it's not a puzzle in that you're intuiting anything. It's a puzzle in that you have 6 doors to choose from, and one of them is the correct one.
Yes.
So you eventually memorize which one is the correct one. Yeah. Sometimes it's more than that. Oftentimes that's what it is, though.
Yeah.
And those are a nice change of pace, right? Like in the context of this game, 100%.
Yes.
There are technical breakthroughs to this. Mario can now slide down sloped surfaces in a way that looks like it would really tear up his asshole.
just real,
Mamma mia.
Just real friction happening going on there. Yeah. But also every time I do it, I say "wee" out loud. Something that is real subtle, but kind of sticks out when you think. In Mario 1, there was no swimming. There were no levels that feature both running and swimming. Swimming was just a mode that a level would be, right? You come out the pipe and you're swimming here. Here, the water and running around sections are intermixed. There are swimming hazards that you can fall into that are not just, different wallpaper over a pitfall, right? So that changes some of the mix-ups you can do. And something that took the most like technical doings that required special chips and stuff is diagonal scrolling. Previously, you would only either be able to scroll to the right or scroll upwards, or right or left or scroll upwards. Here, you have auto scrollers that will take you around, and that is a necessary component for the big marquee levels that you do, the final levels that you do in each of these worlds, these airships.
Yes. Yeah. And your new ability, the ability to fly.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
You get several new abilities. A lot of these things are Mario standbys that are now just kind of baked into the series, but they happened here first.
Yeah.
You can now pick up enemy shells and carry them.
That was something you could do. That was something you could do in Mario 2. But again, that was a different property at first. And also it's different here this time. It's not the stand on top of something and then hoist it. This is like running up along the side of it. And it was like specifically for kicking as a projectile.
Yes. And this allows for all kinds of weird double jump chicanery and such. You have something called a P meter, which, endless guffaws as a kid.
Yeah.
Which charges up as you run. When it maxes out, you get extra hang time and lift. You jump further, and you get this little patina of a tinkling noise over your entire thing. Watching a speedrun of this game is pretty annoying.
Yeah,
because of that. Do not speedrun this podcast and just have a high pitched whine happen during the background of the entire thing.
Please don't. It runs a little bit into like the Mega Man 4 and onward. problem where because you are incentivized to always charge up, it replaces one of the channels for music, and you're not going to hear these good tunes.
Yeah, the music obviously impeccable.
Yes,
in this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the P meter, as if you are just normal Mario, like it'll give you some extra lift and hang time if you do a jump while it's full. This is really tied to the power ups that let you fly. There are 2 power ups that give you a raccoon tail. There's the super leaf, and then there's the upgraded version of it, the Tanuki suit, which gives you the ability to turn into a statue. I hate it when people call Raccoon Mario Tanuki Mario. They're different things.
Yeah, hate it, huh?
Yeah, it really eats me up inside. Yeah,
pissed me off so bad. Just punching a wall.
No, I want to go cave their windshield in with a golf club. Yeah,
I'm gonna go cave their throat in with a golf club.
Yeah,
fuck that shit. How dare you mix up 2 raccoons? The ability to turn to a statue in this is really important. In general, to me, to the weirdness.
Yes.
Of this game, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but it's one of the things I really love about this game. It's weird. It is a weird game. Yeah. There are lots of weird little grace notes I really love. So if you have one of these things, you fly, you get your P meter full, and then you tap the jump button to wag your tail and fly. This only lasts for a certain amount of time, unlike Mario World flying, which is skill-based, like execution-based.
Yeah.
But that makes sense for the levels. Like if you could fly forever in these levels, they're already, if you fly, you end the level.
Right. You bypass basically, everything. Yeah.
Basically, it's a way to bypass the level. So much so that like the other big premier flying power up, the P wing, that makes your meter, stay full, is just a way to skip levels you don't like.
Yeah.
In the game. And if you once you beat the game, it gives you 4 screens of inventory of P-Wings. Just be like, play again, but just skip, whatever levels you don't like.
Right.
It's
right.
fine.
Just literally get over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get like enough of a runway to fly, or if it is a low level, the tail ends up being really useful because it lets you do a spin attack to attack enemies, or also break blocks. Do the awkward little dance that everybody knows, which is, how do I break the block that is not at ground level but is just one up? How do I get the timing right on that so I can pass through? You
being able to use this to slow your fall when you flap is actually huge.
Yes.
I love jump mitigation in platformers.
That's great.
Like a hover or a double jump or like a Yoshi grunt. I think it just makes platforming just like a little bit smoother to me. Mantling, like any of the number of ways you can do to smooth that out a little bit.
Yeah. There's a place, and I enjoy a classic Castlevania, but they're, adding any of these in where it is not commitment, but it is about adaptability, it smooths everything out in a really appreciated way. Here it's a power up. Previously, in Mario 2, it would have been an advantage of picking a different character, but it's all good.
Yeah, especially if the pacing, if you're platforming at a fast pace at all.
Yes,
I really appreciate this. There are 2 other suits you get. The other one that is kind of commonplace, probably more common than it should be, is the frog suit.
Yeah, it's
and then
really
the Hammer Brothers suit, which is really good but rare.
Yes. The Hammer Brothers suit lets you, it's really weird because like you can use it to kill ghosts. You can use it to kill thwomps. These are things that should not be
everything.
Yeah. You should not be able to knock these things off of a map.
Yep. It kills everything.
Yeah.
And the frog suit, which changes your swimming physics, is actually really awesome. And then in a balanced way, it makes your land physics garbage.
Yeah. Like you do little frog hops instead of running, and you are much slower. It really hobbles you, and it is one of the few power-ups that is an explicit trade-off outside of just the regular small Mario versus large Super Mario, which is its own kind of trade-off, right?
And something that they would visit more in like Mario Galaxy.
Yes. Or New Super Mario Brothers,
has
right?
Antecedents, but it took a long time. Or like what?
Or like New Super Mario Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, New Super Mario Brothers does it as well, with like super small Mario and stuff. I think Galaxy was the first time I saw it where you'd be like, oh, I'm the Spring Man. It's kind of hard to control.
Right.
Like I have power, but it is a trade-off. That's a cool idea. And they abandoned it for quite a while.
Yeah.
So Mario 3 presented as a stage play, as we mentioned. This has kind of knock-on effects that are not just aesthetic. You can get into the background to get behind the scenes of certain levels. This doesn't happen very often. It's very specifically to get the flute. In one of the early levels, but you can do it during other times as well.
Yes. Skip some of the enemies, get around different things. I think that this is a really important deal. This is very important for imparting a sense of mystery that is greater than what is actually there. If, you accidentally discover that you can hold down on this block to get behind there, what else could there be? In reality, turns out like not a lot. But before you
two other things, like there's coin ships and then white mushroom houses are the other two things.
Right.
And they're way more of a pain to get.
Yes. But as a little kid, again, when the most of the information that you are getting and passing on is through playground rumors, that sense of mystery that is gestured at but not actually delivered on still makes a pretty big difference for how you view the entire game. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has that sense of there are things like that where I have no idea how it came upon.
Yes.
And I also have no memory of learning it.
It was just always there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird for such a non-intuitive thing to just exist in my brain without me knowing its provenance at all.
Yeah.
Is really valuable.
Like if I just gave Super Mario 3 to like a little kid, would they know it? Are we just all born knowing this?
Or would they find it ever?
Yeah, true.
Because to me it seems very obscure.
Right.
Like there's not really you have to hold down for like a second and a half. There's really no reason to do it.
Yeah. I mean, very little reason to duck outside of avoiding a projectile in very specific instances, right?
So it's super bizarre.
Yeah.
Super bizarre. The other kind of like iconic Mario elements were introduced here, specifically enemies. So this is where we get Booze.
Wild.
A little ghost. I don't know why I thought they were earlier than this when I knew they weren't in Mario 1.
I know, right? What else could they have been in? It feels, I mean, like their weird mechanics and also their design feels like it could have been Mario 2,
Yeah.
To a degree. Yeah. But
same with Chain Chomps.
Exactly. Yeah. Chain Chomps.
And Thwomps would have fit into Bowser's castles just fine in Mario 1.
Yeah.
They just didn't.
I forget, were Dry Bones earlier? Were Dry Bones in 1? I don't think they were.
No.
Yeah.
No. 1 just had Goombas and turtles.
Yeah.
And Cheep Cheeps.
Of course.
And the jellyfish. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
The Dry Bones first appearance here. Like all kinds of stuff that you know and love about Mario.
Yeah. The winged enemies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Yeah.
There
are winged turtles in Mario 1.
Oh yeah, but everything gets wings in this.
Yeah, this is wing. Everybody gets a wing. Yeah.
Yes. So the Booze, I didn't realize this, and this is one of those
sexism here.
Yeah, this is one of those things that you look at differently now, because this would have been like a fun little anecdote, like haha, maybe at a different time. So Booze, their behavior, the idea that like, oh, they're shy if you're looking at them, but when you're not looking at them, they're angry and they hate you. Miyamoto, everybody's favorite uncle, he based this behavior off of the wife of another developer that he worked with, Takashi Tezuka was his name. That is not the name of the wife, but that was the developer. And what Miyamoto was reacting to was the fact that she was mostly being angry because of the long hours that Tezuka worked.
Yeah. So it's sexist and a tale of crunch.
Yes.
Yeah. Learning that video game garbage labor practices are as old as the hills is amazing.
Yeah.
It feels like a very now problem, and that like the games of our childhood are safe from it, but they weren't.
Yeah. I feel like
they just called it cute.
That is a more interesting story for that exact reason, like more interesting than the one everybody knows, which is that the Chain Chomps were inspired by Miyamoto's fear of dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What if with a teeth on a chain as opposed to a dog on a chain?
Yes.
Yeah. Between stages, you navigate these little nodes on a world map. This allows you to make some choices, skip some levels. There are some secrets hidden where you can break blocks and stuff. There's a whole bizarre and vestigial shortcut system in this game that is one of the weirdest things. There's a single use case for it that can happen where sometimes if you fail the final level, or when you fail the final level, the ship will move somewhere else. It's possible the shortcut will be useful in that respect.
Yeah.
This having a series of like Dark Souls-esque shortcuts to earlier parts of the map is so weird.
It's really strange. Like it just like you leave a fortress and then just all of a sudden this little barricade that was up before is gone now. Cool. I can't really do anything if I go back there.
Yeah. Why would I ever go back there unless you just spawn, an end card?
Yeah.
Back there.
But like, I think maybe in 2-player, there's stuff you can do on stages that have already been beaten. Like that's where you can
fight on any stage.
Yeah.
You go to any stage you've beaten and you'll play the original Mario Brothers non-Super Edition.
Yes.
There.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so bizarre. Mm-hmm. And then like you're using valuable resources. Like I feel like fully 1/3 of the power-ups are related to this overland system.
Yeah.
In a way that makes like hammers, music boxes, clouds, anchors.
That fucking anchor, which I think I've only ever gotten once.
They come from the white toad houses, which you get from getting all of the coins in auto scroller levels.
Yeah.
But every other map on some worlds, I think it's on even worlds, you get a P-wing. On odd worlds, though, you get that anchor.
Right.
I'm like, great. What do I do with this? Again, the weirdness, like it's just like a weird little grace note. Like it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
But them having white mushroom houses pop up is a great sense of that mystery. Like, I don't know what I did, but I did something good.
Mm-hmm. Like this doesn't happen every time. I like anybody that I talk to about this game, they don't know that. They think I'm making it up. Yeah.
Yep. Huge, like kind of vagrant. Like Dark Souls, energy. Like, oh, you saw a vagrant. I've never seen that monster before.
Mm-hmm.
This game has a really good sense of that.
Yeah.
That kind of mystery. And I can understand it does it more than Mario World does quite a bit.
Yes.
I can see that being a deciding factor for people because if you like that sense of secrecy, this game does a really good job of it.
It does. Yes. Yeah. So the world map, it's not just level select. There are also roaming mini bosses that are here, getting into fights with Boomerang Brothers and Hammer Brothers, which are fun. I mostly just like the music.
The music's great.
Yeah, because these are yes. Yeah. But I mean, like the fights are super simple. They end in 10 seconds, but it's fun. And you get an item too. And we talked about that anchor, like when you do the airship, if you die on an attempt, the airship will move to a different place. Sometimes maybe putting a mini boss between you and it that you have to beat.
Or a level you didn't complete.
Maybe. If you can't get around it. Yeah.
Very rare. Like I feel like in my entire career of playing Super Mario Bros. 3, I can count on one hand.
Right.
The number of times that did anything.
Right. But you also get the good
world
mini
map.
games.
There's also Civilization.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Toad is here and he's helping you out. He's got toad houses, which he allows you to pick from 3 of his treasures. Why not give me all of them?
You idiot. You have to live here too.
Yeah. A slot machine where you line up these images to get 1-ups. And then these cards that pop up that have an N on them that are memory match games.
Yeah.
You can get. This kind of plays into another aspect of this game, but a big difference between this and Super Mario World is the intrinsic versus extrinsic reward.
Yep.
Kind of structure. Those slot machine things, I cannot imagine playing this game where you will not have more 1-ups than you could ever possibly use.
It's wildly generous.
Wildly generous. And if you die, you just start at the beginning of that world. You don't lose all of your progress. Fortresses stay completed as well.
Yes.
So just the fact that you're getting these, I started skipping the slot machines.
Yeah.
World 5. Because I just didn't need the extra lives. Like there's a very easy way to get 5 extra lives every 3 levels. Through the end. There's a slot machine kind of element to the end of the level.
Yeah.
I just kind of got, I liked the music. I just kind of got sick of doing them.
Yeah.
And watching the dialogue.
The dialogue is the biggest thing. Also, there's only so many times I can take the psychic damage hit of making a star that has a little mushroom bottom.
Oh yeah. Whereas the star with the little plant bottom, it kind of works.
Kinda, yeah.
Like you can make weird little homunculuses that kind of look like creatures.
Yeah, the double 4-eyed mushroom plant fireflower guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we all know what that is. Also, you're a cop if you don't have a method that you pick chests.
Oh yeah.
in the Toad House, which is mine is to run forward and slide into the last chest. Like duck and slide and choose that one.
Yeah.
It is random. It doesn't do anything, but in my
Right.
head as a kid, it did something.
No, I jump out as far as I can, then run back to the start and pick the one on the left every time.
Yeah. Got to have a method.
Yep.
Got to have a code. Got to have a Toad code. There's also, we mentioned the white mushroom houses. There are also coin ships.
Yeah.
Which are found through Byzantine magic.
Yep.
About your timer, like matching a certain thing. And these are just a bunch of coins, which again give you 1-ups, illustrating that intrinsic and extrinsic reward. Like I have no need for coins. I have no need for 1-ups.
Yeah.
Is the intrinsic value of hearing the sound and collecting a thing appealing to me?
Yeah. This isn't New Super Mario Brothers 2. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they took that and they like, I think that's a very, I love that game. And partly because I think it's really meta.
Yeah.
It's a very clever.
Yeah. Makes it about the
version
paper
of that.
chase. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, you gain items by playing these that you can use on the world map. This is nice. You can get normal power-ups that you can start with Mario in your preferred form, which is pretty good. And there are rarer ones that are like utility, things that will just straight up break levels. You know, the P-Wing that lets you do unlimited flying. You can get a little Lakitu cloud to ride around. Music boxes will put enemies, it will change their behavior.
The Keto cloud doesn't go in the level, lets you bypass the levels.
Oh yeah, you're right. Blah. I didn't use it this time, so I forgot.
Yeah, it's so that allows you to pass the level, but then if you die, you go back to the last level you beat. So it's kind of like an interesting little, gamble that you're making.
Yeah. Thank you for correcting me on that. Yeah, and then the music box, which puts enemies into trances.
Yeah. So you can bypass them as well. But if you die, you go back on the other side, of course. There are warp whistles in this game. So they're no longer warp pipes. Instead, you get a whistle that you can use to bypass into certain sets of levels. This is great for replay since this is, it doesn't have save. If you're replaying and you're just replaying it for fun because it's a Nintendo game and you want to get further along or start later, you definitely can.
Yeah, that's
pretty easily.
That's really important. And I think that the warp rooms in Mario 1 serve this purpose as well. But like, this is very explicitly designed, to have something for everybody and to have like a very deliberate difficulty curve up. If you are playing this for challenge, there's not going to be a lot for you in the first 5 lands in this,
It doesn't get serious until Ice World.
Right.
Ice World is when they start actually doing some serious platforming stuff.
Yeah. So knowing the trick, to get the cheat code to get there, especially if you're just working on this, trying to get past, that is a good kindness that they afford you.
Yeah, I like it. It ends up being for my purposes when I do replay this. I replay this when Nintendo Online first popped up, and then for the show now, I always just go warpless because I want to play through the levels. Like I'm playing Mario 3.
Yeah.
But it is cool. I can imagine it being incredibly useful as a kid.
Oh, it was. Yeah, and everybody knew where to get those whistles.
Again, and you're just born knowing it. We talked about the multiplayer. In addition to being able to play Mario Brothers 1 or Mario Brothers non-super against each other, you also take turns doing stages, which ordinarily would be kind of a bummer if the stages weren't 20 seconds long.
Right.
So it's really no big deal to sit out for 45 seconds to play through while your buddy plays through a level.
And it's nice to have it codified and built in. It resolves the conflict. Like, hey, you're hogging it. Like, no, you'll play when it tells you to, Luigi.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about development.
Yeah. So they began developing after production wrapped on Super Mario 2, Lost Levels over here. They put that on the Famicom Disk System. Shigeru Miyamoto was the game's director, and I only recently learned of this. I think maybe this came to light with the Iwata Asks or something like that. But we dodged such a bullet, Gary. They almost made this into an isometric platformer. Yep.
Then they're like, oh, it's too hard to position your jumps. And then they hid that knowledge from the continent of Europe. They sealed it in a safety deposit box.
Yeah.
So all kinds of games on the ZX Spectrum still had to be isometric and you couldn't position your jumps.
Yeah. They did it as a prank to laugh at a continent. Yeah.
the idea of them like doing a bunch of serious research to determine that it's hard to position your jumps in an isometric game is very funny to me. Because it just feels like you just know.
Yeah,
well, of course it is.
Cool, like just try and play it.
Yeah, like, just do any kind of play any game that's ever done it. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like,
I also really like that there was a power up that turned Mario into a centaur.
What?
That's scary.
Changed? I mean,
yeah,
it
that's
sounds
scary.
It sounns painful. For one,
yeah,
just growing a whole horse out your back.
What advantages might a centaur have over a traditional plumber?
How would he go in and out of the pipes? Would he be? Would he get small? Like would he size down to be a centaur that was still roughly the dimensions of Mario?
The only thing I think of is you could run faster.
Maybe, but Mario can run pretty fast, Gary.
Mario is very fast.
Yeah.
Not as fast as a horse though.
Yeah, true. I guess. Give me that. I've never seen them go up against each other. So
that's you get Mario and Secretariat at the Olympic Games on the Nintendo Wii. I don't know what this is about, but I would love to see the concept art for that.
Yeah.
Mamma mia, not again. And just like spine just stretching out and going 90 degrees from his back.
No, my 2 sets of genitals.
No. Mario got the 2 cocks. And then just all kinds of flies buzzing around Mario's asshole and him like having you had to tap B to swish him away.
Mm-hmm.
They could do the flies from non-Super Mario Brothers from the sewer. Bring those guys back. Buzzes or whatever they're called.
Oh no. I'm very curious what their plan for the centaur was.
Yeah.
So
it's the one thing if when you die, if you go to heaven, you get to ask Iwata one question.
Oh yeah.
Like if you go to gamer heaven, that might be my question.
Yeah, that's my Iwata question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it would just be here in this Iwata ask you said Mario was going to turn into a centaur. And I have a follow-up question. Go on.
Proceed.
Please more.
Yeah. I feel like there's more to say about that. So
yeah. Can we luxuriate in this centaur for a little bit?
Oh man. So other details here. The 7 Koopalings were not kids in Japan. They were based on Miyamoto's programmers. He just had 7 he had 7 people. Like, what if I made you into a turtle monster?
These are all brutal drags to their wives. Miyamoto really had things to say about his programmers' wives. And he put them into games. You didn't want your wife to get on his bad side.
No. Might turn into the cactuses from Mario World. Oh my god. But when they were brought over here, they were made into kids, and also their name, they were given names of so musicians, and then weirdly, there's Morton Koopa Jr., named after one of the prototypical shithead conservative commentator TV guys.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Koji Kondo says this is the most difficult soundtrack he's done since it wasn't pinned to a single genre. It's a great soundtrack, by the way. But yeah, I can kind of see it. It doesn't feel like later things where it's more like, let's just do a big band thing.
Yeah. It's not it's not the ragtime of Mario 2. Just one of those things, going back and listening to the Mario 2 soundtrack, it's real limited, actually. It's extremely good, but there are only like 4 songs. This has a good variety.
Yeah, a bigger variety. I think I still prefer, like, I get stuff from Mario 2 stuck in my head more.
Yes.
Than this, but this is a great soundtrack as well. The American release of this was delayed for over a year because of the ROM chip shortages. This happened with Zelda 2 as well, but it happened here.
Yeah.
And this delay left an open window for The Wizard to drop into theaters, hype everyone up. We covered that in Adaptation Decay. Yeah. It's a horrible movie.
It's very bad.
It's really boring. It doesn't stand up.
And it's wild that this was pitched as, what if it was Tommy but for video games, and they ended up with that.
Yeah, what if we had Larry Kid Kill versus a kid who is coded to be autistic?
Yep.
For the whole movie. And the lady from Rilo Kiley was there.
Was there, just kind of being a sassy orphan, I think.
Yep, sexually awakening many a young boy.
I mean, of course.
And girl. Probably.
Yeah.
That ties into it is hard to overstate the sense of hype around this.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if this was your experience, but for me, everyone I knew was losing their fucking minds.
I was only 2 when this came out, so by the time I sat down and played this, it was just kind of there. It was just in the collection. But I can understand it, you know, going back and looking at like old Nintendo powers. The fact that you would see images and know that people were playing this on the other side of the world. I just it's very difficult to put myself in that state of mind, and how agonizing that might have been.
Well, because I was 9, I couldn't just buy this, you know, with my 9-year-old budget. So I didn't get this right when it came out, but a friend of a friend got it.
Uh-huh.
And I remember the friend telling me about it, and I'll never forget. It's like, you go to this airship and it's 100% pure firepower. Like breathlessly explaining this to me.
Which is true. The airship is mostly made of cannons.
But they're real silly cannons that just go in random directions.
Yeah.
Like if Koopa went to war, he'd be like, everybody gets shot. You know, it doesn't really make any sense. But him just being like it reminded me of TV Tropes energy.
Oh yeah.
Like it's pure nightmare fuel. ... You know? What if you had an airship? Oh, that sounds fine. Wait, ... But it's full of cannons, italicized text. Like,
oh god.
Yeah. I'll never forget. But my hype for this was incredibly real.
Yeah.
Having seen The Wizard and having people tell me about it,
of course.
It was an absolute moment of like weird little hyper kid vibrating when I finally got to play this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good shit.
Yes. So it just a remarkable time. Just the fact that this was delayed created a lot of those moments for lots of folks. And the wait was worth it, especially monetarily. This became the 3rd best-selling game on the NES, which is super impressive because the only 2 that beat it were Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, which were pack-ins, you know? So like this is, you know, this one by, you know, without that benefit, like it drove this many people to stores to get it.
Yes. Yeah. So there are remakes of this. One in Super Mario All-Stars, which is a really cool package. It's a collection of the first Mario games on Super Nintendo with updated graphics. There's a GBA version of this called Super Mario Advance 4. And this had extra levels that you could unlock using the GBA's card scanner. I wanted to play those for this. You have to do it by emulating the Wii U.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
no one's just made like a ROM that does them.
Wow. Not even for the Game Boy Advance version? Huh.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you would expect. But
right.
No, it's a Wii U patch for it. And I got exhausted learning how to do it. I would have done it anyway, but it was Duckstream times and my brain was tired. But I wanted to play these levels. Apparently they're no great shakes.
Right.
And a lot of them are based on levels that were cut, or some of them are based on levels that were cut from this. This game has a lot of cut content.
Right.
And including full levels that you can explore with a debug mode or a Game Genie. And I've watched YouTubes of people playing those levels. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. But also they were cut for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that idea of getting new levels through a card scanner was basically the best thing you could possibly get from one of those card scanners, other than an Animal Crossing, brand new Nintendo game.
Right. Or playing basically a weird emulated version of like Excitebike by swiping the card in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of a presaging like the idea of Mario World where like the best possible thing you can get is a level.
Yes.
Through this. And that is, we're going to try not to compare this too much to Mario World, but it is its closest comparison point.
Yeah.
Especially
because by the time we were playing it over here, Mario World was well into development and was just about to come out. Like these were very near each other. It's only 2 years difference between them. Something like that.
And in that respect, this holds up so amazingly well. Like the idea of this being, this is light years advance from Mario 1.
Yes.
It's just, I also happen to think Mario World is light years advance from this. And it ends up making more sense once you know when it came out. All those games came out in Japan.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the Super Mario World being light years beyond this says more about Mario World than it does about this,
Yeah.
Too, I think.
It is. it is one of those gamer divisions.
Yes, it is.
That happens, despite the fact that gamer Biden said he would unite us. He hasn't. People still get in the Super Mario World versus 3.
Yeah.
And, to me, that we'll eventually do a proper Super Mario World episode.
Absolutely.
I guarantee it. I really want to.
Mm-hmm.
The big difference to me is exploring. And when you find secrets in Mario 3, there are a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You get 1-ups or sometimes a power-up.
Yeah.
In Mario World, you get whole new sections of the map in a way that felt magical, like I was breaking the game.
Yes. Seeing the path get forged through the actual landscape is amazing. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
That's just kind of not present here. Yeah. So Mario World was the proper follow-up. And I just want to put in this other little anecdote because I think it's interesting, especially when we talk about the PC and console gap going both ways. I think we talked about this in a recent Abject Suffering or Exquisite Suffering, but PC platformers, it was pretty tough. The NES was built to do the kind of scrolling in this that general PC software was not really up to emulating, right? So something that is unlikely is that Super Mario 3, John Carmack and Tom Hall of id Software, they developed and pitched a PC port of Super Mario 3 for Nintendo, saying hey, we solved the smooth scrolling problem. Do you want us to make a version of your game for PCs? Nintendo said no, and they said, well, screw that. Let's go make Commander Keen, an important PC game, a worse platformer than this game is, but still
charming in its own right.
Yes,
but significantly worse.
Yes, and that's strange. That's a neat little story, I think.
Yeah, the prototype is still a trip to see.
Yes,
it's fun to check out. So we're going to get into it. We're going to not be very close up.
Right.
On this. This is a breather episode of this show. It was a breather game for us to play. There are really, really close up level design analyses.
Yes.
Of this game that you can find that get out the screen and do little arrows and stuff like you're planning out football plays and stuff. That's not going to be this.
No.
We're going to talk about the gimmicks and kind of scoot through because that's how I experienced the game.
Right.
As well. I don't think that's necessarily the best way to look at it. And I'm not shitting on any other form of analysis. But to me, I want this to feel effortless and light.
Same.
When I'm playing it. You know?
And also, there's only so much we can do in audio without the benefit of, drawing the map and lines over the screen,
100%. We don't want to end up like that walkthrough of all 3 Mario games I have in novel form. Like a pros walkthrough that I have.
Yeah. So we're mostly going to be focused on if there's a strong gimmick on a particular stage, we'll hit that, but also what elements are added as there are a good number of moving parts that are thrown in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you start with grassland, your basic Green Hill 1-1 grassland. Here with really easy stages that are basically the biome is called plains officially, and it's abstract blocks and ground for most of these. And you start off with they do a good job of teaching you because they have a question mark block on the ground. How do you get that? Well, if you kick the Koopa shell towards it, you have to kind of intuit that or pick up the Koopa shell and throw it.
Yeah.
And it gives you a leaf and just enough runway to fly.
Yeah. And just enough runway, something that's really important here is that you can scroll backwards in this. If you were just hoping that you had enough runway, only ratchet scrolling to the right, that wouldn't work. So when you kill the Koopas and clear this off, if this is also teaching you, yes, you can scroll both directions at will, but then you fly and then you see, oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff up here that I do not need to use a vine block to get to.
Yes. Yeah. This is also where you can get the flute. They put it right in the first level, so you only have to complete the first level to start warping. Yep. If you like. We talked about that in the opening, but again, blows my mind that anyone did it.
Yeah. Oh, it's stage 3 that you get the flute.
Oh, yeah, but you can get behind the white block here if you want to.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. There's not really a lot of reason to.
No,
here, but you could potentially discover it here.
Stage 2 is kind of a co-1-1 with this because it's introducing the sloped surfaces, and this is pretty much just an excuse for you to do as many slides through Goombas as you can to knock them off.
Yeah, P blocks are introduced here, another Mario thing that swaps the matter state of coins and blocks. This is great. Entire generation of like Mario Maker level creators did not understand the puzzle potential that was unleashed right here.
Very simple, but very good.
And musical note blocks are introduced here, which you bounce on. I like the physics of this so much more than I like the spring platforms from Mario 1.
Those goddamn fucking spring platforms. No,
they're the worst.
I hate them.
Yeah, they're the absolute worst. These are fun. These are legitimately good.
Yeah. Oh man. And there's not too much in the else in the early going here. You get an auto scroller, which immediately shows you scrolling along the sky and getting a little bit of vertical before it really starts relying on the vertical, up and down kind of deal.
Yep. Our fortress level here is noteworthy. It has a hidden exit above the first door, which you have to intuit that you can fly to. I think this is a better, secret.
Yes.
It doesn't feel as arbitrary. Well, it also calls back to the warp pipes in Mario 1.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It is an echo of getting above the underground stages in 1. Yeah.
These spike ceilings are a new hazard that move up and down. This is something that will be used to really good effect in Mario World, but are cool here as well.
Yeah.
And then Boom Boom, our mini boss. I hope you like fighting Boom Boom because you will fight Boom Boom so many times in this game and variations of Boom Boom. Mario games never great at bosses.
Nope.
We talked about that before. Even when they're good at bosses, they're not great at bosses.
Right.
And Mario, it's an improvement of Mario 1 where like Koopa was an obstacle.
Yes.
But I would say that Koopa as an obstacle integrates more into the base gameplay. Like these aren't games about combat; they're about navigation a lot of the time.
Right.
So you end up with something like Boom Boom, which you just stomp on him 3 times, and like later he flies, but it doesn't really matter.
Not really.
You still just stomp on him 3 times.
It's like him flying is not so much of a hazard as it is just like a cooldown. Like you can't really hit him when he's up there unless you're like super canny about judging his arcs. And the only other thing is like you can't chain hit him after you bop him. He pops out some spikes, so you need to get away. Otherwise, you're going to take a hit.
Yeah, but you can hit him before he starts doing anything again.
Yeah,
you need to bop. No big deal. We get our first underground biome here, so we get our remix of the Mario 2 underground theme, which is great. And beetles are hanging out down here. Those guys were in Mario 1 as well. I always forget about them.
Oh yeah. Forget those guys. Like you get the ones that walk upside down here, though.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. And you're kind of going back and forth between underground with its underground pools and above ground with snowy hills.
Yes. And it gotta say, like it's pretty weird. Like it is possible just to think, hey, this is normal. Mixing swimming and non-swimming is a thing.
Yeah, big Mario deal.
Yeah.
We get our first Hammer Bros encounter somewhere around here. Those are just, you fight them. Generally, it's 2 of them throwing hammers, or 1 of them throwing boomerangs. It kind of varies. Very rarely you'll fight ones that throw fireballs.
Yeah.
But it's very rare.
Yeah, sometimes. And later on, I love the way they changed this up in Big World as well.
Oh, Big World is the best level.
Oh my God.
Of this by a lot anyway.
Yeah.
Big World is so fun. When we get to the castle, we find out our main reason we're doing all of this. The king has been turned into a dog and his mushroom retainer, the slave race of fungi that they have, is whining for you to get his wand back.
Right.
I love this crew of weirdos. The kings, like them, when they turn back into regular mode, they're so weird looking. Like the weird Jay Leno one in World 2 with his gigantor chin.
The fact that they have so many different ones too. Like, what are they saying about these? Like, sometimes what they turn into makes a little bit of sense for where they're at. Not always, though.
Yeah. The remakes of these also made them turn into creatures from Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense.
It does, but it's less charming than just the king is a dog now, like in the hit movie The Shaggy DA.
Yeah. Yeah, the Shaggy King, Shaggy Regent.
Yeah.
And this sends you to, so you have to go, you climb the anchor to get up onto the airship.
Yeah.
The airships are all auto scrollers, and they are total firepower.
Total firepower.
Outfitted with cannons. They go in kind of random directions. A lot of diagonals and the like that you're doing. This one is very basic, but these do tend to be highlight levels for me.
Yeah.
These are pretty fun.
Yeah. Real tricky. Something that is especially satisfying, even when you don't have to, making a lot of your traversal be about jumping from projectile to projectile is a real fun feeling. Something else that I like about this is like this airship is shaped kind of like an airship, you know, like it's got boat-like qualities to it. Eventually these become abstract nightmares.
Kind of flotillas of platforms. Like this platform, like one little guy who throws wrenches lives here. And there's a cannon that goes diagonally down to the right. And that's the entirety point of the ship.
Yes. And then it is like attached by a weird chain to another thing like it. It just, I want to see, I'm sure this exists, but just a zoomed out picture of what this thing is and try to intuit why it was designed that way.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
When you get to the end, you fight your first Koopaling, Larry Koopa. They'll always be the sons of Bowser to me. And he throws, he has a magic wand. He throws magic bubbles from it. These like kind of circles. There's really nothing to him. He just kind of walks around and you step on him.
Yeah. Between hits, he will turn into shells and kind of briefly move a little bit faster. It's just evasion. You know, like Larry is the easiest one of these just because he is slow and has a very, very predictable pattern.
And the hardest one of these is still also very easy and slow.
Yes. Yeah.
When he dies, the wand goes up in the sky and falls down. Again, you're not a cop if you don't try to grab it in the air. Anyway, or you are a cop.
I was going to say.
You are bad if you don't do the thing I'm saying.
If you don't play the game the way that I do and do the unnecessary things that I do, then you are part of systematic oppression.
You're no good. Whatever the society equivalent of a cop is when you're listening to this.
Whenever you are. Oh, fuck.
When you beat this, you get the king turned back into his mutated human form as one of the only humans in this land full of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Funny Easter egg, if you're wearing one of the animal suits,
he makes a comment about it.
He'll make a specific comment about it.
Yeah.
Which I really love. The frog one I love. It's like, oh, you got two. And it's so hard to beat one of these in a frog suit. That's really cute.
Yeah, the boomerang, or not the hammer suit, rather. The kings are real jealous of it. They call them real snazzy duds, and they ask if they can borrow them, and then say no. Okay.
Yeah. Gonna swap clothes with the king.
Yeah.
And then you get a letter from Toad. Princess Toadstool has been sending you letters that have little care packages enclosed and give you little pro tips. So this one tells you how ghosts behave and gives you a P-wing. Which you mentioned before. That is a level skip wing.
Yes. I also love that the notes call them gems.
Yeah. Weird translation. Probably supposed to be a treasure or something like that.
Probably.
World 2 is the desert world. This introduces some cool, fun ideas. We have little tiny miniature Goombas, like they're young, that live inside a block.
Yep.
And will make the blocks hop about. You can tell because they don't shine. They don't have the glare on them.
Yeah.
That was real cool. And then sometimes they're a little offset.
Yeah. It's good. It's quite good. And they move a little bit before they jump. You don't want to run into them from the side. So you want to be a little bit, keep your eye out a little bit. Like a weird theme about the enemies in this game is that, a lot of them weaponize their young.
Yeah. I saw on TV Trope, somebody said one of the themes of the game is, childhood and paternity. And I became the Joker a little bit in bed before I went to sleep. From that, I did a little night Joker. Because one of the themes of the game,
I think that
phrasing is really bugging me.
I think the theme is jumping.
Yeah, one of the big themes is jumping, and the other one is airships.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of this has a lot to say about parenthood.
Yeah.
And, the rights of children and how we throw our tiny Goombas into war or something like that. And I just imagined my head constructed a Vice Games essay that made me mad.
Yeah.
Actually existing.
Oh gosh. So you get those mimics here. You also, I mean, you're running around like the levels theme ends up working into this. It's not so much here. I don't know what these big piped off sections are supposed to be, but the fact that we're in the desert and we have like pyramid shaped things, that's a nice nod, you know, like it's a little bit of harmony between between the chrome and the and the scaffolding, right?
Yeah, agreed. They introduced booze in the fort, which we all know booze, and this is before they start doing really tricky things with booze.
Yes.
What I really love are these bouncing fire snakes they introduce, which are so satisfying to predict where they're going to land and then whap them with your tail.
Yep.
At the right moment, but you have to kind of like, they bounce on this like very set arc.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky. You have to get close enough. Like your tail has no range.
No.
These things are great. They're real fun.
Yeah. It always feels good if you manage to hit them from inside their arc. Like if they just barely miss you on their little jump. Satisfying.
And then they'll just do that forever. You can just stand in the middle and they'll just jump over you over and over and over.
Yep.
It's great.
Oh man. No. So there's the quicksand stage. Not all of the stages are numbered. Sometimes it's just a stage that fits in. This has quicksand, which is a neat little thing that I was led to believe as a child that I would be facing more and more in my day-to-day life. Not really run into quicksand, which is a problem. But this introduces my favorite enemy design in the game. 100%. And in the series, this is up there with Phanto for me. The Angry Sun.
Yeah. Very similar to Phanto.
I love the Angry Sun.
First, you have to jump past the tornado. To get to this. That's a really weird little bit of gating.
It is.
You know, because they want you to know that you can only jump over the tornado if you're at P speed.
Mm-hmm.
And they want you, I think they're trying to tell you run.
Think so? Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but it's a really weird little bit of gating. The sun, which kind of jumps, goes in circles on each corner and then does these swooping attacks, is a patina over the whole level. The level has all kinds of stuff in it normally.
But your eye is always on that sun.
It's really great, like having this little hazard to deal with here. He's wonderful.
Yeah, and the fact that he just kind of waits there, it's just like, oh, that's like a little scenery element. Why is he so angry? And then when he shakes and starts moving... I love this thing so really goddamn much.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's a pyramid stage that its own biome, and this has it's pyramid shaped. It has chain chomps. We've seen them as well. There. There's a really great little bit here in the world map where if you get the hammer from the bros, you can break into off the map on the right.
Oh yeah.
That is a great little secret. That's how you get the third warp whistle. And also really it goes away. The next world, there's stuff that's off the map.
Yeah.
And then they just stop doing it.
Yeah.
But it felt like there was so much possibility when I first did that.
Yeah. Again, those little grace notes and those implications at mystery that is ultimately not there, but still feels good. Love it.
Yeah. Very good.
So the king is turned into a shitty little spider. Is that what this is? Because it's just a bug.
He's hanging from a web.
A little bug. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we go up onto this airship. This introduces Monty moles. These little, I think these are Monty moles. These are manhole moles that throw wrenches.
These are rocky wrenches. Monty moles are the ones that they burrow out of the background in Worlds. I also thought they were moles. Yeah. They probably, a couple times a year they meet at conventions,
Yeah. And then you fight Morton Koopa Jr. And his horrible opinions. He's a little slower, but he uses his wand more frequently.
Yeah.
And then spins around in his shell as well. Again, there's really nothing to these.
No.
You can kill these things by jumping on them 3 times, starting the Nintendo 3 is the magic number, or you can hit them with like a certain number of fireballs.
Yeah.
As well.
Yep. Pete writes you saying, hey, you can stomp on enemies with Goomba's shoe. And then says, hey, here's an unrelated power-up.
Here's a cloud. I think that's when she starts giving you garbage.
Yeah.
For the first time. There is some evidence that the Goomba's shoe is going to be a more frequent power-up. Specifically, it used to operate like a power-up when you lost it.
Yeah.
So, but they changed it.
Yeah, they backseated it and put it in like 2 levels.
One though, or isn't it just one?
I think it's just one. Shit, you're right.
Yeah, just the one level, which is really confident and cool, and is the reason I think so many people love that item so much.
Yeah,
it's real special. Everyone's first Mario Maker levels were full of Goomba shoes.
Oh yeah, because you finally got license to use it. Yeah,
fuck this shit. I get as many as I want.
World 3 takes you to Oceanside. This is all of the water levels, a lot of swimming here. I want to give an extra special demerit to the lava flowers. What is it? The magma lotuses? Lava lotuses.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Not because they're like especially, bad, like badly designed. I just find the concept of them horrifying, especially in the NES version, where it's just transparent. There's something about those transparent petals that really got under my skin as a kid.
They're pretty gross.
Yeah.
This world also features Big Bertha.
Yeah. Nightmare time.
I love Big Bertha. It's so scary. Swallowing Mario whole.
Ugh.
Like a soft shell crab. The bones are good, like an anchovy.
Yeah, and you can just knock them out with a fireball, but they come at you, and it's instant death in a game in a series that doesn't really do instant death that much outside of Pitfalls, right?
Yeah. Or you usually have they give you a mushroom.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every level, basically. This is the first. This isn't like when it gets serious, but this is probably the first difficulty jump at all.
Yes.
The fort has a door maze where you have to kind of guess which door you go in to get to the boss room. I don't like these that much.
No,
they're puzzly. I never in Mario 1. I never liked the trial and error which platform.
Oh, the maze.
Or which hallway to take those mazes. I do not like making choices with no information. Yeah, in a video game for a puzzle.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. They would eventually make that better, like I like in Bowser's Castle and World, where the rooms are numbered, so it's easy to remember where they are, and like it's an appreciably different challenge on the other side of them. And you only have to go through so many of them. It's not like you're trying to find the right one, right?
Yeah.
That's the better version of this, I think.
Morton has grown wings, which will not help him. He just does swoops like the sun if you get him get up in the air, but don't let him get up in the air. Yeah.
And then he loses it for the final hit, so it's no problem.
Goombas get wings and they start splitting out kids.
Shaking my head.
Goombas having Goombas. Yeah. The Goombas that hit you are great. They don't hurt you. You have to shake them off.
Yep.
Which I think is really great. And then Lakitu in this is very aggressive. Like compared to Mario 1.
Yeah.
He throws more frequently and moves faster.
He follows you way more closely. And I found like weirdly fewer opportunities to knock them out in this.
Yeah, I almost never killed a Lakitu in this.
Yeah. Unless you're lucky to have the hammer suit, but you probably don't because that's super rare.
We don't. Yeah, I think the first time that shows up is in 6. World 6. So we get a couple other little elements here. The one that I think is most interesting to me are the little green fellas that puke up spike balls that are the size of them. I love those little guys. I want those guys to come back in Mario.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh God.
More room outside than in, am I right?
Oh no. Okay. Oh God. Ow.
I don't know where these come from.
I'm getting weaker with every one. They're made up of stuff I use to make bones.
My bones, no. I'm trying to look at what those things are called. I can't find them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird little dudes.
I just love that they throw them at you. Again, just whatever those are.
Contempt.
It's as angry as one can be to do this. Oh man. The underwater fort with the ghost bars, those ghost bars are hilarious to me. Like, what do those guys do in life to get consigned to that?
Ghost bar does not describe what it is in case people don't. But they're hard to describe as well. So
it's not a ghost bar like the fucking Shining. It's just it's like a long platform that a ghost just kind of like rises up out of and moves along. Yeah, like a boo. Yeah.
A couple ghosts live in there.
Yeah. One on top and one on bottom.
From the end of Mask of the Betrayer.
Yeah. Oh man. And also, stage 9 here adds bombs. Yeah, we got bombs here.
Yeah. And just blocks you can pick up naturally.
Yeah.
The king has turned into a horrible little snail creature. It's supposed to be it's a kappa in the Japanese version.
Okay.
And then this area is meant to be based on Japan.
Ooh, okay.
My understanding.
Yeah.
So you get up to your airship here, and there are the platforms now that move when you jump on them.
Yeah, they're like bolts. They're like nuts that go along these threaded bolts in the background. It's really hard to move them as fast as it seems like they can expect you. So ultimately, these kind of become temporary platforms that you can fall through if you do not jump while you are still on them.
Yeah. And then Windio Koopa at the end, more Lady Koopalings, bounces around on the walls, and then her attack does.
Yes.
She throws like a ring that will bounce around on the walls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Peach writes you a letter about the white magic block saying, hey, you can pick it up. And here's an unrelated power up.
Yep. Here's a music box. And it's like, call me back when you have a P-Wing, please.
And now we're on to World 4. Big land, giant land. It's the star of the show.
Yeah. This owns. It's so dumb. It's just they made everything big, but because these creatures have like this totemic quality, like I love a Koopa. Mm-hmm. Seeing a big Koopa or a big Goomba just feels good.
Yeah, and for some reason, this feels like so much more notable than getting like the big the big versions of enemies in World.
Yeah.
Like just it feels like it's like less of a flex there than it is here. And also, like, this doesn't really do anything. They're just bigger.
No, this is very easy and short.
Yeah.
This level. There's only 6 stages. Like this is very breezy. Mm-hmm. It just feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. And like just to, like I would just knowing the trick, because I was born knowing the trick to get the warp whistles, warp here immediately, and then just marvel at the extremely large enemies because things didn't really change scale that much. In these
Neither
days.
of us have giantess fetishes, but I think if we were going to live in one of the worlds of Mario 3, it'd be this one.
Probably, yeah.
I have no interest in being like dominated by a giant woman.
Right.
In a violence way. But having a giant pet turtle, fuck yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it'd basically be like living in the episode of Review where he has to pretend to be small.
To be a little person.
This is a normal sized breakfast.
Yeah. So funny. I gotta watch
so
Review
big.
Again. This is just a joy. Like there's nothing else to say about it. Like it's not hard. There aren't a lot of gameplay gimmicks that are really utilized here. Like some of the stuff gets introduced, like the little candle flame guys that never showed up again. These guys are cute.
Love those.
And then mobs that move sideways, which are great hazards.
Yes, that's a real surprise. When they come at you. Also they introduce enemies that'll stun on stomp. You get the Sledge Brothers and the bigger versions of the Hammer Brothers who will stun you if you are on the ground when they land.
There's also, this is the arrow blocks that you can move on and you can change which direction they move by jumping on them sometimes. Yeah. Those are really cool and also have been utilized to great effect in Mario Makers.
Yeah.
But in general, this is just like, feels good.
What if this thing that you like is real big? And I'm like, I'd like it to be big, please.
Hell yeah, get it big. I love the way that the bricks break into 4 normal size bricks.
Is that what it's always like? The small little pieces? Is it just that the resolution is so small that we can't see that it's just a fractal?
You need to get Scientist Mario to get the microscope out.
It's self-similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then stage 6, which is just an easy ass stage, but there are doors where you can go to the big version and the small version just at will. There's no reason to be in one versus the other, as far as I can remember. Yeah.
Like the small version is undoubtedly easier.
Right.
But it's barely easier because the whole thing is super easy. It's just fun to do.
Yeah. Skates on charm.
Yeah.
So the king is a dinosaur, which why would he want to come back from being a dinosaur? Come on.
He's a little shitty dinosaur. He's kind of like the dinosaur from Uninvited. That little groove monster.
Yeah, I love the groove monster.
He's kind of that kind of dinosaur. He's very cool.
The airship here adds flame jets to this in a real big bad way. And also
I learned something about Mario 3 that I never knew before.
Oh, okay. What's that?
If you use the Tanuki suit statue ability, you can stomp on these flame jets and kill them.
What? You stomp them, huh?
Only the Tanuki suit.
I never took a Tanuki suit here.
Yeah. I didn't do it here. I did it later with flame jets.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, I never took Tanuki suits into the airships on purpose, or thought to use that ability. That's auto scrollers, right? Like, doesn't seem like becoming a statue would be that advantageous.
Statues don't scroll, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
You get 100 points. It's nice.
The boss here is Eggy Koopa. It's real familiar because all of these are very similar. The big difference here is the arena. You have uneven ground that you fight them on, more uneven than other ones.
Yes. And then Toadstool gives you a note talking about a thief taking a whistle and heading east of the sand dunes. She's giving you little tips for like if you play again.
Yeah.
You know how to get this stuff.
Saying like, hey, there's a whistle here. Go and take a look and see. And that's a pretty good hint about breaking that block and getting over there.
Skyland, which I think is really cool. I love how this is bifurcated. Like Jim Rose's Psycho Circus cock is bifurcated.
I think Kiss had the Psycho Circus. I think Jim Rose just had the circus.
Oh, yeah, okay. Jim Rose. Oh, it's some kind of... listen, it's twisted. It's not a normal circus.
I mean, I remember a circus from when I was a kid, and I assume that every circus is going to be like that. And now let me open my browser here. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, oh, no. But I like that you have to actually make your way up to the sky.
Yeah. Through that awesome little spiral tower that's kind of a level but kind of isn't.
The crenellations.
Yeah. And when you get to the top and you're on the cloud, the cloud map, you can look down like through the hole because you're top down. You can see the tiny version of the map you were just on.
Yes.
Great touch. Good. Yeah.
Very nice. Stage 2 starts with this is a cool level because it starts with this really long drop. And you can stop yourself and get to this upper course, which is easier. Yeah. But you have to know what's coming. Otherwise, you're in this cave full of little beetle turtles who run up the white block, run to the white blocks and throw them at you.
Yeah.
These guys are dicks.
They're just real angry. Just throwing things bigger than themselves at you. Weirdly, either the knowledge and skill to catch yourself or just the luck of landing and making the bounces up to get up here turns this into like a pinball level in a way.
Sure.
There's something real pinball-y about that to me.
Yeah. Then stage 3, you get the shoe.
Yes.
Kuribo shoe. which is very famous. It can step on anything. That is its power. Like most shoes in real life.
Yeah. It's made for walking. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's real cute.
Yes. It's incredibly cute. It's got a little wind up on it.
And this level is full of things you ordinarily would die from stepping on.
Yeah.
Like spinies and those little white plants.
Yeah.
You can now bounce around on. It's very satisfying. You cannot take the shoe with you. It's not like a regular power up. There's this will break the game. And this is its only appearance.
Mm-hmm. For shame.
Goodbye shoe. Until Mario Maker. Shoe went away. It's crazy.
Yeah. The spiral tower doesn't have an awful lot to it, although there are I call them disco balls, even though they're Redo discs. They always read as disco balls to me. These end up being like the primary threat in forts. They spin around on around a block at a fixed distance, and they're almost always like slightly out of phase, so you have to find the right time to make your traversal through them.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
Like they're fun hazards to me.
Less fun are those goddamn spinning platforms, Gary.
Yeah, those are real weird.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to tell, especially when they're spinning, if you're just going to drop through them and die immediately, or if you're going to get the cool launch effect that you want.
Yeah. They're red platforms that spin horizontally. Yeah. And you generally, if you step on them, it's a crapshoot. You do not want to do it.
Yeah. Some of them will react to weight, like, they will tilt, which is kind of neat. And the other ones that just spin and fling, they're unreliable. unlike the very dependable and quite fun drop-away donut blocks.
Yeah, these things are around, just making every platform hazardous. These are really fun.
Yeah.
I like stage 6 a lot as well, where you spend a lot of time on these flying beetles. And just very satisfying. Like they dip a little bit when you're on them.
But then they recover. And it's a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for them. There's a second fort here. Not all these levels are the same length.
Yeah.
The last level is only 6 stages. This one, we have a second fort before the last few stages.
Yeah.
Here. And it's mostly about fireballs and avoiding them in this.
Yeah. The big auto-scrolling stage toward the end of this that is just entirely diagonally and up and to the right is pretty big, because a lot of it is like, I need to get over this very tall wall in time to get beyond it, or it's going to, I'm going to get squished against the back of the screen.
You do a lot of jumps where you jump up and then kind of go left and then right.
Yeah.
Like a question mark shape in this.
Yeah.
There's also the fire things are chasing you.
Oh yeah.
During this, the weird little fire snakes that don't bounce, they just chase you. Pretty tricky. Like we're moving into the tricky zone.
Yeah. Or fully by the time we get to Iceland, which is just an airship away. The king's a weird bird.
Yep. And the airship is pretty normal, except it has this like death hallway full of crisscrossing cannons.
It's like the end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
It's very Metal Gear. Very Metal Gear-esque.
Yeah.
Roy Koopa is a big chonky boy, based on Roy Orbison. Just a brutal drag against that man's weight problems. And he has a stunning stomp now, like the Sledge Brothers.
Yeah. This'll get you. This ended up being the toughest of them to me, just because that stun is very effective.
Yeah. Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland. Yeah, we get a note about some creatures being frozen in the ice and possibly coming back, and then that feature is not really used in this.
No, it's pretty rare. Same thing with coins and such too. You can thaw them out, but it's not used for a whole lot.
No.
We get freestanding piranha plants that walk around outside of their pipes.
It's really weird seeing them just like walk around on their leaves.
Don't like it. They should be put down.
It's like the monsters in Resident Evil 2 in the lab at the end.
Also should have been put down.
Yeah.
So this is hard now.
Yes.
It's slippery. Like blocks are slippery, and the platforming is more demanding. Just kind of in general now. We get some auto scrollers. We get some sky levels. And the like, with those launchers that we've seen before, with donut drops, etc. The platforms, we didn't mention them before, but the platforms that ride along on wires.
Yeah. We'd eventually be coming like there's lots of stuff in Mario World that is built around these things.
Yeah. Stage 5 is a real pain in the ass. It's an underground level that is a puzzle. You need to go through this loop until you get the raccoon suit to jump up holding a shell.
Yeah.
To open the area, but it's full of those little cranky guys who throw the shells at you, the angry little fellas.
Yeah.
Sure.
So and if you lose your raccoon tail, you need to do the entire loop again, and you just have to systematically go up. And kind of understanding that you have to understanding that you can fly while you're holding something is maybe something that's not necessarily intuitive. And also, if you try and
hold it, you have to hold down the B and tap A.
Yeah.
Which is tricky. You do that claw grip, which is easier as a kid. This is also where the time limit first became kind of an issue for me. During this thing, because it took me a few tries to execute. I haven't played this game in a little while. And I started getting the tense, the last 100 seconds, the last 50 seconds music, which is makes it harder to focus.
Yeah. And the last leg of Iceland is a lot of sky levels where the platformers get more, or where the platforms themselves get more and more scant, and more of them are slippery. So you end up needing to be really canny about your jumping, like the real Mario 3 starts here.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of stages on this level. There are 10 total stages, multiple forts. 3 forts in this level.
Wow.
They're pretty intense. One of them has the little hidden way you can get the Hammer Brothers suit, which is cool. In stage 10, under these, it's under these spiky plants. You have to unfreeze, then turn them into coins, and then get down there.
Yeah,
with the P block.
And the POW block that will do that is like appreciably far back in the level. or P
POW
block.
blocks are very different.
Yeah, sorry, P block.
Okay.
It's weird. I just call in my head I call them POW blocks. Yeah, the P block is
POW blocks are the ones that kill everything.
yes, you're right. I was wrong. I'm really sorry. I'll try and do better.
No, I'll have your notes app on my desk. No, I just wanted to, like, the only reason why it matters is because that's another block in this series.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're both similarly powerful, but the P block is pretty far back in the level. Like if you find it and hit it, like there's nothing really on the screen that changes. So you need to make a couple of leaps to get down here. And the hammer suit is it's a really powerful. It's a good reward.
Yeah. It's very good. I managed to get one of them from a mushroom house that's hidden in this world, I think, and use it on Bowser.
Nice.
At the end, which it trivializes Bowser. It takes 3 hits.
Yeah.
The final fort in this level is a ghost house, which is pretty cool. You get a section where you're on an elevator with some ghosts. So you have to kind of manage them, like doing the look back and forth juggle. Mm-hmm. That every Mario player knows until the door becomes reachable up at the top. So you slowly rise to it.
Yeah, pretty much almost exactly like a thing from the Haunted Mansion at Disney.
Yeah, very much so.
The king is a seal this time.
Yep. And the airship itself, this is the one where I stomped on the flame jets. I think nice. I had the Tanuki suit here.
Yeah.
But there are a lot more of those screw platforms.
Yeah.
If you have Tanuki, you don't really have to use them. You just run across them and then tap.
Yeah.
To get over. Using them as platforms is very difficult. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah. Well, like the fact that they move horizontally makes it kind of seem like you would benefit from trying to traverse them along the entirety of the bolt. You know, but you don't want to do that because the auto scroll will get you.
Yeah. By no means.
Yeah. And like the flame jets become pretty stringent here as well.
Yes. You fight Lemmy Koopa at the end of this. He's riding a circus ball. A brutal dig on Lemmy the musician. He's fast and kind of bouncy as he moves around.
Yes. I like that he has this ball, which I assume he took from the king because he's a seal, circus seal, sense. The ball. Yeah. It's a whole, I've made my prepare to cry video about it.
Yeah. Being turned into a seal and then where does the ball come from?
Being denied the ball. I mean, probably from one of those things that throws up the ball that's bigger than him.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Put in a special order. If you call it ahead of time, they'll do it.
If you get turned into a seal, you can probably hack up one of these.
Probably, but only once. So you have to be real careful.
Yeah, not for a couple days.
Toadstool's note tells you about a hidden whistle in World 2, which is pretty much just the desert one as well. We know. Stop telling me I can't go back there.
Yeah. And you already told us about this one. World 7, which for my money is harder than World 8.
Yes.
I skip a lot of World 8 through P-Wings and swimming through lava.
Yeah.
World 7's really tough.
Yeah, I like World 7 quite a bit. Like this is where the challenge hits a good stride for me. I don't like a lot of the challenge in Iceland because the slippery blocks are just not to my taste.
Does anyone love those as a challenge, as a platform challenge thing?
They're always kind of a drag.
They've been with us forever.
Yeah.
But I've never met anyone who's just like, yeah, give me a slippery level.
It's super into it. Yeah, no, I have not. I don't know. It is not an interesting challenge to me. Whereas like these cool little like mazes and the ascension levels that you get here, where it relies on you using the wraparound.
The wraparound stuff is great.
Yeah. It's like a little. It's like Mario 2 coming and saying, "Hey, how's it going? I'm back."
Yeah. So this is Pipe World, also kind of a desert biome as well.
Kind of a desert jungle kind of thing, because it's a lot of piranha plants, Yeah.
Some cool gimmicks. And this one, I love stage 3, which is just a normal plain zone. But if you get a star, and then if you are still under the influence of an invincibility star, when you hit a certain block, it will be an invincibility star. But if you're not, it won't be.
Yeah. And it's a cool trick. I don't even mind when they do it again in stage 7, where the entire course is just carpeted with the snapping plants. and you have to chain the Starmen to run across it.
Well, this one trains you for that one.
Yes.
You know, it's like a miniature version of what they would do later with the stage-based 3D Marios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. The first of the real like mazes that you get here is here as well. Like not just the, the like you picking the right doors or whatever, but like, honest to God, I need to figure out where I need to go physically in this, and introduces kind of a trick here where you will end up being, falling into a place. And when you try to jump out, you'll be trapped because it's invisible blocks, right? And they take it one step further. Instead of, just being a frustrating thing, you need to activate all of those. You need to expose the blocks because that becomes a path forward,
Your
right?
platform.
Yeah. You're revealing a bridge. Here, you're getting the bridge to the exit.
Yeah, a real clever little level.
Yeah.
There are pipe stages where everything is a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And there are these black piranha plants that pop out ping pong in and out of patterns in a real cool little trick. They don't stop if you pause it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're about to fall on them, you can pause it, wait for them to leave, and then unpause it.
Yeah. That feels like
so weird and cool.
That feels like a technical error that either they could not figure out how to fix, or they did figure out how to fix, but like it's actually kind of neat to work it in to kind of play with the box in that way. I like it.
It reminds me of fighting the devil man or whatever in Mega Man 1.
Yeah.
With that pause trick and just be like, ooh.
I outsmarted the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We mentioned the wraparound and the chaining Starmen. They start really pushing the platforming itself.
Yes.
Levels here where you have pipes that you cannot clear them without doing like the absolute max of your jump.
Mm-hmm.
Here, which is cool.
Yeah, and those are almost always mixed. Like it'll be a very high pipe that has a piranha coming out of it. In order to get the speed that you need, you're going to have to get far enough away that you will not be keeping the piranha plant down in it. So you have to work out the timing or find a way to stop like right at the edge. It ends up being pretty delicate.
Yes. Yeah. The king is, of course, turned into a piranha plant.
I love his little crown.
Still gets to keep his little crown. Yeah, very cute.
Yeah. And this is the last of like the actual airships we're going to do. They're going to be replaced with different stuff later on in the next world. So this ends up being a kind of a final exam. We get long stretches of very sparse platforms and a lot of kind of chaining the screw platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. When you get to the end, Ludwig von Koopa, who ended up becoming the kind of famous Koopa kid, the one who ends up in Mario Karts and stuff, is here, and he can stun. He does these little stunning charges as well. No great shakes again as a boss fight, but it's the final hurrah, so it's fine.
Yeah. And instead of getting a note from Toadstool, we get a letter from Bowser. While we were out there trying to rescue these weird kings, Bowser took it upon himself to kidnap Toadstool again. Fuck, that is a reflex for me. Calling her Peach instead of Toadstool. I can either. People know what I mean.
Yeah. I she goes by both.
Yeah.
And this introduces World 8, the Castle of Koopa, which I think this world engages in some bullshit. Which is why I save my P-Wings for this.
Yeah.
And bypass some of these levels. The music slaps. It is cool thematically. But there are some of these levels I just think are obnoxious.
I like how it's hell.
Yeah, it is hell.
Yeah.
He does live in hell. There's straight up lava pits and then like animate hands that will grab you.
Oh, scariest thing in the world when I was a little kid.
It's very nightmarish. This thing.
Oh man. So the idea here is you're going up against Bowser's entire military. You don't get a numbered stage. In fact, there are only 2 numbered stages in this. There are like tanks out on the map. So you go up to a tank and it'll start this long auto-scrolling level with Bowser's tanks. We got cannons, bombs, little wrench mole kind of guys. And you're trying to just do the auto-scroller while avoiding these projectiles.
Yes. The big thing here in terms of these levels, if you're not bypassing the P-Wing, is the ones that are ships. You can swim under the ship.
Yeah.
Which I always, the first time I discovered that as a kid, I felt like a genius.
Yeah. Well, it's very logical. You could do it. Yeah. Why not?
And then the hands, which we talked about, These are a nightmare. There's like these 5 platforms. The first, third, and fifth one have a chance of a hand coming out and pulling you into a little mini stage. Is 50%. That. So they end up playing into a weird speed run dynamic because you have a 12% chance then of not getting any of them. So you can be on a world record pace, get here, and then you have a 90% chance of just failing.
Oh God.
There, which sounds very frustrating.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring this up because, both of us were on the internet around this time. Mario 3 was the first speedrun I ever watched. This was like way back in the early days of YouTube. I remember just like seeing, it was a popular video that was linked around. It was like, watch Mario 3 be beaten in 10 minutes. And that's not, Mario 3 is a big game. That seemed very unlikely that they would fit it into one video like that. And watched it and proceeded to see some of the most miraculous just projectile to projectile jumping. Like, you get to this point and it's flawless, thinking, hey, this must be an incredibly skilled person. And yes, it was, but then you learned a couple years later that it was tool assisted, which is still impressive. It creates an impressive product. But like, I remember just sitting in my brother's house watching this on the big screen, just goddamn transfixed by it.
Yeah. Well, and now people, that's the speed run is around that much non-tool assisted.
Yeah.
It's a big game for speed running. There's also, they do that by hand. They figured out the speed run trick. They can do the glitch that just warps you to the end credits.
Oh, huh.
By putting objects and putting in inputs that reprogram the code.
Yeah. Just hit the registers. Yeah.
Yeah. They can do that by hand now as well.
Oh, huh. So it's not just a taskbot thing.
Yeah. Which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
But generally, you're just fighting like tanks that are ground versions of airships.
Yes.
During this,
and then doing boats that are water versions of airships.
Exactly. It's tons of airship stuff. The sun comes back, which is good, and there's a unique palette. So like the pipes, everything is dark. Erica's again, it's hell. Very good. Until eventually you get to Bowser's Castle, which is like a big long prestige dungeon.
Yeah.
Here with his statues that now shoot lasers.
And it's really hard to avoid them, and they don't really fire unless you're right in the path.
In the fights.
Yeah.
Yep. Really good.
Pretty tough.
A couple really tricky stair sections with the little disco balls moving around.
Yeah.
Where they're in different phases, but you're also trying to climb up an irregular incline.
Yeah.
That's real cool and weird.
It's difficult. Yeah, and then a little throwback section where you're making the approach to Bowser and dodging the fireballs that are being shot from the far end. And
Bowser has a mullet when you get there.
This is the first time Bowser has hair and has red hair.
He shaves it all off. He goes bald gracefully after this, like Billy Corgan or what have you. And then you fight him. So there's 2 different ways to fight him. If you have fireballs, you just hit him a bunch of times. If you have hammers, you just hit him a couple times. The main way you're doing it is by having him jump up and letting him smash through the ground. So you dodge out of the way. He kind of just continually makes a hole until he can fall through on his own and die. Imagine if you went and saw a play.
I mean, some people got that experience with Spider-Man Turn Out the Dark.
Yeah. Yeah, or like Willie Loman just starts jumping and busting through the stage.
Oh God, poor Willie. He can't just eat the orange to throw the peel away. Come on.
It's great. He dies. Yes. The actor died as well. And then when you get to the end, you see the princess there. She's sobbing, and she says, "I'm sorry, Mario, but your princess is in another castle." Just kidding. I love that. That's so charming.
Yep. And they changed it. Like later re-releases go back to like the really boring just original Japanese version of it. I love that humor. Like, haha. Wasn't it funny when? Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
And then you can start the game over again and have 4 inventory screens full of P-Wings.
Why not? Let's skip this baby.
Yeah. And that's Mario 3. Absolute snack tier.
Yeah. It's a good game, and I'm kind of like you. When this pops up on a new on a new platform, I generally just kind of pick it up and play it. Maybe not all the way through. What's that?
Yeah, just give it a spin.
Yeah.
It's not, it only really suffers at all compared to Mario World. and Mario 2 to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like colorful, beautiful, impeccable music, tons of weird little secrets, just Nintendo at the height of their powers.
Yeah.
Here.
It's one of those things that is definitely laid bare when you have Switch Online and you can just play any number of these NES games, all of them available basically for free, right? And that curated collection, saying like, hey, yes, this is representative of what the of what the NES is to us, and also what we're willing to pay the licensing fees for. So here you go. And going back to the old system, not everything ages well. That is that's a pretty trite observation and is pretty obvious. But I say that in order to say that, like, if for some reason you haven't played Mario 3, like, going back to it, this does feel modern just because Nintendo, found a successful formula and kind of stuck with it, which is easy to take for granted, but is especially impressive because this is just something that feels really satisfying to play, even now, 30 something years after it came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's and there are people, much as it sounds silly to say somebody who hasn't played Mario 3, they exist.
Yeah.
There are people who were raised on Mario 64. There are people raised on Mario Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
First up against the wall when the revolution comes. So this goes back. It's not just like old grognard saying, "Hey, this stands up."
Yeah,
it's not me telling you to play Ninja Gaiden.
Right.
Like, I love Ninja Gaiden. It's a hateful mess. Yeah. It feels really good, but it's so frustrating.
It's a really hard recommendation. I think that you would be surprised going back to this and kind of seeing how accommodating it is,
Yes. It's the opposite of the surprise that you would get from Ninja Gaiden.
Yes.
You're like, oh, this is taking care of me in a way that game isn't.
Yeah. Because Nintendo, for all their faults, they are humane game designers, and they hit on something really good here. Yes.
The LucasArts of platformers.
Yeah.
So great game. Good way to kick off the new year. Mm-hmm. Nice and light. Of course, we are moving into things that are heavier fare.
Yes, we are.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have things to say about Mario Brothers 3, or our other games, which are Dark Messiah of Might and Magic or The Sinking City, hit us up by January 15th at duckfeed.tv/contact.
Yeah. If you have thoughts about any of our games for February, which are Professor Layton and The Curious Village, what is it? Warhammer Dark Omen or State of Decay. The deadline for that is February the 15th, again at duckfeed.tv/contact. If you have thoughts about multiple games, please separate them into multiple responses. That makes things easier on our side when we go to put together the dispatch episodes.
Indeed. Thanks everybody who tuned in to Duckstream and donated. We really appreciate you. And thanks everybody who lets us do this. All of our patrons, we really appreciate you as well. If you cannot do that and still want to support the network, you can do so by leaving us a rating or review on Apple Podcast or Podcast Addict, or just telling your friends.
Yeah.
That is highly appreciated as well.
It is. But most of all, watch out for that sun.
Indeed. Yeah, Jessica needs belly rubs. I got to go.
Oh, okay.
She's really just kind of like, come on.
Oh, Jessica's your cat. It's not a human woman like the name would.
Jessica needs belly rubs.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not that kind of guy yet.